Alright, so it looks like Gervonta Davis will be taking on the new up-and-comer prospect, Rolando Romero, in a 12-round lightweight bout on December the 5th for the WBA World Light title. I'm sorry, but this is just such a ridiculous fight. Oh man, look, this is a total mismatch, right? Like, do I even need to say who I think's gonna win this fight? I mean, do I really need to give my honest prediction on who I think is gonna win? Because I think it's pretty obvious, right? Who, not just me, but for most people, who they're picking, right? Um, Listen, I don't care what anyone says. If Rolando Romero actually manages to win this fight, if he somehow manages to win, then it will go down as the biggest upset in boxing, right? In my eyes, right? I don't care what anyone says. Like, oh man, this is crazy. They're actually gonna fight. Um, yeah, I'm shocked this fight actually got made. You know, um, when I found out this fight was happening, I thought it was a joke at first. I thought it was one of these like social media pranks or whatever, but it's actually happening. Um, yeah, man. Listen, this is gonna be like the Wilder versus Fury, or the Deontay Wilder versus Dominic Brazil fight, in my opinion. Dominic Brazil obviously was the perfect matchup for Deontay Wilder stylistically, right? I mean, Brazil, he never really moved his head, right? He was a stationary target. His defense was kind of lackluster. And ever since the Anthony Joshua fight, he's just been looking, worse and worse each fight, right? I mean, he took way too much damage in that, AJ fight. And by the time he fought Wilder, I mean, he was kind of done, right? Even before he fought Wilder, he was getting dropped by, some opponents who were just the lowest level of opposition. And then when he fought Wilder, it was the finishing touch. It was that thing of Wilder just pretty much finished him off, right? And I think it's gonna be the same thing with this. I think Tank is gonna destroy Romero. I think it's gonna be um it's gonna look bad for Romero. It's crazy this fight's actually getting made. And listen, I'm not saying Gervonta Davis is anything special, championship wise, because you look at his record and he hasn't really fought anyone, at the highest level, right? He hasn't fought any world champions. I mean, his best wins are Gamboa and Leo Santa Cruz, all right? I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, other than that, who else has he beaten? I mean, I guess he beat what's his name, Francesca fuck, the guy that Ryan Garcia fought, right? I mean, I guess he fought that guy, but I mean, it. Other than that, like he hasn't really fought any world champions, right? I mean, until he fights Loma or Lopez or even Haney, right? I mean, I'd say he's still the best non-world champion in the lightweight division, but still, I mean, he's still got a lot to prove. But compared to Romero, I mean, he is glamorous, right? Because you look at Romero's record, who has he fought, right? He's fought literally no one. He fought Anthony Yigit, right? No one knows who that guy is. I don't think. You know what I mean? Excuse me if I said that guy's name wrong. He fought Avery Sparrow. I don't know who that is either. And then I'd say his best one is against Jackson Marinas, right? And we'll talk about that fight later. But I mean, the point is that Rolly really hasn't proven himself, even at a low level, or I guess a mid level or whatever. And yeah, man, even with the way that Rolly's like talking and all this, like he's talking like he's all this, right? Like he's actually buying into his own hype that he's somehow a contender for you know that the belts or whatever, right? Like he's calling out Devin Haney. He's even said that. Sorry, he's even said that he's the hardest hitting 135 pounder in the division. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? I mean, this guy, when he fights Tank, he's gonna get humbled. I believe. You know. I mean, this guy's talking like like he's a champion, right? Um, he's saying like, "Oh, I beat Ryan Garcia in a sparring session." Listen, anyone who boxes, right, or at least trains boxing, will know that sparring and fighting are two different things, right? A fight is when you go out to, you go into a ring and try to knock someone's head off, right? Like in a professional or even amateur bout. A sparring session is a place where you look to improve on your skills, and it's a place where you not only help yourself, but you help your sparring partner improve, right? And in that sparring session, it showed, one guy came to fight and the other guy came to spar, Rolly was trying to knock Ryan's head off. And even then, even when he fought Ryan at his absolute worst, he still couldn't knock him out, you know what I mean? So it's just that thing of this guy, he believes in his own hype and that he's actually, a world champion, right? He won a what did he win? He won a WBA belt or something against Jackson Marinas. Let's talk about that fight for a second. So in that fight, you had Jackson Marinas basically schooling and dominating Rolando Romero, right? He out-jabbed him, he outworked him, he outlanded him. And what happens by the end of the fight? They give the decision to Romero, right? Marinas gets absolutely robbed on the scorecards. And to be honest, I mean, listen, I'm not one to really accuse, I don't know, a fighter's team for rigging a fight or fixing a fight, all that, right? I don't do that because I just, no one knows, right? No one truly knows. But with this fight, with Romero and Marinas, I wouldn't be surprised if Romero's team actually paid off the judges to give it to Romero if it went to a decision, right? I really wouldn't be surprised, I actually think that might have happened because I've watched that fight like 5 times now, and I just can't make a case for Romero winning that fight. I gave Romero 3 rounds at most. One of those rounds was kind of difficult to judge. So, legitimately, he only won 2 rounds. And, yeah, it was basically just a 10-2 domination, right? That's what it was. And, Marinas just gets absolutely robbed. That's what happened. But with this fight with Tank, I don't even think it's going to go to a decision, right? In fact, I'll be surprised if this fight goes past the mid-rounds, right? I'd be surprised if it goes past like rounds, 7. Because this Rolando Romero guy, he makes so many mistakes in the ring, right? He leaves his jaw hanging when he's trading. His footwork is terrible. His hand speed is slow. His he has no defense, right? And his stance it's too wide, right? That's what it is. So, yeah. And listen, Tank still has a lot to prove in terms of, like I said, being a champion and all that, considering he hasn't really fought any champions. But, I mean, he's still, I'd say he's the best non-champion. So he's like, to me, he's ranked, I don't know, number 4 in the division, right? And that's why this is just a total mismatch because, in my eyes, Romero is just, one of these prelims fighters. And while Tank is like a top 5 fighter, you know what I mean? So, yeah, this is apparently for, it's apparently for a world title. Guys, I've said this before. There's way too many belts in boxing, right? You have like, anyone can fight for a world title nowadays, right? I mean, Devin Haney has a title, Ryan Garcia has a title, right? Even Tank has a title, Romero has a title. You know what I mean? It's just, anyone has a title. Anyone can fight for a title, regardless of what level you're at. You know what I mean? I don't even know what title they're fighting for. I don't really care, but yeah, man, what a fight this is gonna be. I think Tank's gonna blow him out the water. If I had to make a prediction, I'd say it's a knockout in the first 4 rounds. Like honestly, I'm gonna be shocked if Romero actually wins this fight. I really don't see him winning this fight. And sure, everyone has a puncher's chance and all that, but with Romero, I mean, even I still don't even see him catching Tank. You know what I mean? Like I really don't see that. So yeah, like I said, I think um, Romero's gonna get humbled in this fight. He's gonna get destroyed in this fight, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this will be like the Wilder versus Brazil fight in my eyes. You know what I mean? I just think it's gonna be that lopsided. This is like a man versus a boy type fight. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And and yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Tank's gonna basically he's gonna knock Rollies out. Like I said, Rolly he makes way too many mistakes in the ring, and I don't see him catching Tank at all in this fight. So yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Peace.